Good day, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends. This is Kofidis from the Department of CTVS, National University Heart Center in Singapore. My great privilege again to present to you the next of our new and proposed techniques for mitral and tricuspid valve repair. Today, we will look at a new methodology to repair the tricuspid valve. First of all, I would like to disclaim right up front that our techniques are an addition, a supplementation, or an evolutionary addition to the existing well-established techniques, which have derived through experience of many decades and are used diligently around the world. So our techniques, however, may make addressing mitral and tricuspid valve pathologies perhaps a bit simpler, more intuitive, more standardized, with a single running stitch, and yet eliminate variability between surgeons, produce a solid result, but without having to guess how many cords to use and where to pass them through the margin of the prolapsing leaflet. Our techniques also may offer combinatory treatment of both the leaflet, the papillary muscles, or the dilated annulus. Without much ado, let me progress to share with you a technique that I call the tricuspid minotaurus or tricuspid corset. Here is the video that we prepare for the audience. You see that the course of this single repair stitch neocord resembles a corset or the head of a bull, hence minotaurus. A neocord starts from the either from the annuloplasty ring or from the papillary muscle in the right ventricle, then ascends through the margin, travels through the margin of the septal leaflet, which is, let's say, prolapsing, comes out on the other side through the papillary muscle, and then both needles exit under the leaflet through the tricuspid annulus, meander through the annulus, and meet in the middle. Let's look at a case vignette of a 75-year-old Chinese male with a abnormal mitral valve with bileaflet prolapse and other pathologies that we will not address here. The tricuspid valve prolapse is at the center of our attention in this particular case, with redundant leaflets, particularly the septal one, and tricuspid regurgitation. In the interest of time, let's skim to the pre-op echo that shows a severe tricuspid regurgitation with scattered jets. In situ, during the operation, you can appreciate how much more flaccid is the septal leaflet of the tricuspid valve, let's say, compared to a usual mitral valve leaflet, and the extent of the prolapse. What would the average surgeon normally do? Throw in a ring and walk out with the highest level of impunity he wishes to have, if possible. Our technique addresses the forgotten valve, passes the neocord, as I said, it can be pledgeted or the parallel U-stitch through the papillary muscle in the right ventricle, then travels through the prolapsing margin of the septal leaflet, meanders in and out, and exits over the head of the other papillary muscle, as you will appreciate here. In the interest of time, I skim forward, pass through the papillary muscle, and then both needles are driven under the leaflet through the annulus and along the annulus to meet in the middle, or at the lower end of the stitch. Here, the two needles meet between septal and posterior leaflet of the tricuspid valve. The surgeon, as you will appreciate, has the possibility to do adjustments all the way up to the last minute until after the annuloplasty ring is being implanted. Here, the usual technique of implanting a 3D contour ring, which is inserted and affixed using core knot. Now, the needles are passed under the ring and tied over a pledget or simply over the tricuspid annulus. the saline test yields a satisfactory result. And closure of the atrium follows. The postoperative echocardiographic result shows a very, very satisfactory result on the tricuspid valve. The mitral valve has been replaced. Thank you very much for your attention.